I'm here in Bandung, Indonesia from April 18th to 24th, 1955. This city hosted the historic Bandung Conference, which is also known as the Asian African Conference. Leaders and representatives from 29 Asian and African countries and regions marched down this very street in front of me, which is called Asia-Africa Street, to the venue, which is today's the Museum of Asian African Conference. Together, they forged what became known as the Bandung spirit: solidarity, friendship, and cooperation. The spirit helped inspire national liberation movements across Asia, Africa, and Latin America, and played a pivotal role in dismantling colonial systems across the world.
At that time, it was actually a decolonialization spirit, and it was actually an opposing power of the already established power at that time.
For Africa, we have sentimental attachments to the Bandung Conference because it is that conference would help to arise the political consciousness of many of African countries. And it is no surprise that many of the African countries got their political independence just after, the Bandung Conference.
On the foundation of China's 5 principles of peaceful coexistence, the conference laid out 10 principles for international relations, principles that guided the world towards a more just and inclusive order at that time. But the impact didn't just stop there. The Bandung Conference laid a solid foundation for future cooperation among countries of the Global South and between the Global South and the North.
This conference has remained, a very important aspect of our political life.
If you have a collaboration as the principle of the coexistence, we can actually sustain our economic fundamentals. We can actually sustain our economic development and economic growth altogether.
Through the spirit of Asia-Africa, we can send the message to the world leader. We can create the civilization that respect other countries, respect international law.
70 years on, as more developing countries pursue their own path to modernization, the Bandung spirit remains as relevant and powerful as ever.
Ini bisa jadi jembatan untuk bisa saling bekerja sama dan menciptakan kesejahteraan untuk masyarakatnya.
The political hopelessness that Africa felt then resembles strikingly with the economic hopelessness that we feel now in the midst of the geopolitical bickerings that are going on now. So for the continent of Africa, the Bandung spirit is very, very important.
We have so many cooperation all together, and it's quite inclusive. That is actually the spirit that we need to actually establish and to sustain in the near future.
Semuanya saling berkolaborasi, tentu dengan semangat yang sama dengan konferensi Asia Afrika yang sejak tahun 1955 ya dilaksanakan dan terus terjaga sampai dengan saat ini.